Hello everyone, my name is Himanshu. I'm here to give you some basic concepts of mathematics. This session would be probably for the students of grade 8, 9 and 10 and anyone else who would like their basics to be clear. And this is usually for students for CBSE, ICSE, IB and whatever. The basics are same for everyone irrespective of what curriculum you study in your school. So without wasting any time, today's topic that we would go ahead with would be trigonometry. Well, trigonometry is the study of very basic of a triangle which may or may not be a right angle triangle. It can be any triangle, and the relationship between its sides and the angles. Correct. So the study of a triangle and the relationship between its sides and its interior angles is trigonometry. Hipparchus was the first person who gave us the basic idea of trigonometry. He is also known as the father of trigonometry. To begin with, to come to the very basics, we would be dealing currently with only a right angle triangle. A right angle triangle is the one in which one angle is 90 degree. So all the formulae that we are going to establish will be for a right angle triangle initially. So the first basic principle that we can think of in a right angle triangle would be number one, the Pythagoras Theorem. The Pythagoras Theorem states that the hypotenuse square is the sum of the perpendicular square and the base square. Now, let's see what is the meaning of a hypotenuse, a perpendicular and base. So in a right angle triangle, there is the right angle and there is something called the angle of reference. So the side which is opposite to the right angle is known as hypotenuse. So in this case, this is my right angle. So side opposite to that, AC, is equal to hypotenuse. At the same time, if C is my angle of reference, in that case, AB is my perpendicular. So this is also a way of writing perpendicular, and perpendicular is the side opposite to the angle of reference. And for C, this is adjacent to it. So BC is equal to base which is side adjacent to angle of reference. So, once again let me go ahead, let me explain you. In a right angle triangle, the side opposite to the right angle, which is AC, is the hypotenuse. The side opposite to the angle of reference, which is here AB, that would be the perpendicular. And here BC, which is the side adjacent to the angle of reference, would be the base. The side BC would be the base. Now, for a moment, I want you to pause the video and think, if A would be the angle of reference, what would be the perpendicular and the base? I hope you thought about it. For angle A, the opposite side is BC, so that would be the perpendicular, and AB is the adjacent side, so adjacent side would make it the base. So for this right angle triangle, my BC is the perpendicular and AB is the base, for A being the angle of reference. So you need to be a little careful over there. Hypotenuse is always the same, it's going to be the side opposite to the right angle, but the perpendicular and the base could be vice versa depending upon the angle of reference. So please be careful over there. Now, coming to the gentleman Pythagoras Theorem. So that means in a right angle triangle, if let's say my perpendicular is 3 mm or 3 and my base is 4, and if I have to find AC, so that means I can simply write x square is equal to 3 square plus 4 square, which makes it 9 plus 16, 25. Therefore, x is equal to square root of 25, which makes it plus or minus 5. But since the length cannot be negative, I can only consider plus 5. That means if this is 3, this is 4, my x would be 5. So here I want you to notice two things. The first being, hypotenuse is always longer than the perpendicular and the base for any case. So hypotenuse will always be greater than perpendicular or base. But hypotenuse would be always smaller than the perpendicular and base combined together. So hypotenuse is always the longest side in the right angle triangle, but hypotenuse is always smaller compared to the sum of the perpendicular and the base. So I'll give you a small application. So let's say if this is a garden, let's say A, B, C, D. This is 3 mm, this is 4 mm. Let's say it's a rectangular garden, that makes it 4, 4, and maybe one side is 90 degrees. Now you wanted to walk from here all the way to D. Now if you take the path BC plus CD, you will have to walk 4 plus 3, which is 7 mm or 7. Now if there was a direct way where you could walk, then in that case you would have only had to walk 5. the distance of 5 units, right? So this is one application of this hypotenuse, perpendicular and base concept, where you take the hypotenuse and you walk the shortest distance possible in such a scenario. So there are numerous and infinite applications of Pythagoras Theorem or trigonometry for that matter. So I'll continue in the next video with some beautiful ratios between the perpendicular base and the hypotenuse, which would be a very basics of trigonometry. Now, if you have any questions, you may please put down on the comment. You could also give me a question which you want me to solve and explain it to you. I will try to do it ASAP. See you then. I hope it was helpful. Take care. Bye-bye.